Yo, what up? So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about how to be a good plus one at a wedding. All right. So let's say, for example, you just started dating someone new. More than likely you started dating them like less than a year ago, right? They got invited to a wedding, and then they're bringing you as their plus one. So that's the situation. And I think some other tidbits for this situation is probably like, okay, you probably don't know the bride or groom that well, right? You probably don't even know them that well, maybe. And then also, you probably really don't know your girlfriend or boyfriend's friends that well yet either. Okay, so the question is, if you're in the situation, like, how are you supposed to act? So I think first we got to talk about what are your goals in the situation, right? So as attending to this wedding, what are your goals? I would say your goals are this in this order. Number one is to make a really good first impression on all of their friends, right? Number two is going to make sure your partner has a good time. Number three, make sure you have a good time, right? So I would say, yeah, you're going to a wedding. It's going to be open bar, whatever. It's going to be a fun time, but your job isn't to have a good time first. Your job is actually to make a good first impression. And why do I think this is? Is because first of all, like you're gonna be at a party where you don't really know anyone, right? So how fun is that actually gonna be for you? Your upside is probably limited, right? How fun can a party be where you know absolutely no one? I feel like your upside is limited versus like all your best friends, right? So you might as well prioritize, making a good first impression because this will probably be a really good opportunity for you to meet a lot of people at once and then make sure that all of your boyfriend or girlfriend's friends like you, right? So I think making a good first impression is actually in your best interest. And then also because your partner probably went to like high school or college or grad school or whatever with these people, they probably have deep connections with them. Some of them really good friends, some of them not so good friends. But even the ones that don't really know him or her that well, you still want to make a good first impression because you want to come off as saying like, oh yeah, this person that I knew from back then is doing well. Like you're a good catch. They're able to catch a good boyfriend girlfriend. You don't want to be like, oh, this person's dating some loser, right? Because that would make them look bad. So for these reasons, I think you need to prioritize like making sure that you leave a good first impression. So a couple of tips here and there. I don't think it's super complicated to do this, so it'll be pretty short. But I think first and foremost, you have to be self-sufficient, right? Meaning that your date can just leave you, and you can just you can be by yourself in this situation where you don't know anyone, and you can know how to act and still have fun and also not look like a loser, right? So your date's probably gonna go out and take pictures of people or do whatever, or they do his or her own thing for a little bit, and it's totally fine, right? And you need to be able to socialize on your own and not be a burden on your date. Okay, they shouldn't have to babysit you. You should be able to be. They should be able to leave you alone and feel comfortable and feel like you're not. First of all, you're not gonna embarrass yourself. And second of all, you're gonna have a fun time on your own. Okay, that's number one. I think with weddings, it's kind of like a weird situation where everyone kind of knows each other, but kind of doesn't. So I also feel like you see the same people over the night over and over again. So I think there's kind of like a sweet spot where you want to introduce yourself. So I think you're gonna want to introduce yourself to people early on, but you're not gonna want to just like walk around and start introducing yourself, right? Because you have to kind of know like who is relevant to be introduced to. So for example, if you're with your date and then they go, "Oh hey, like I'm," and then they start hugging people, right? Then you could just casually introduce yourself to those people after they hug, right? You go, "Oh hey, what's up? My name's Albert. I'm whoever's boyfriend," right? Or like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Albert." That's all you gotta say, right? They can make the assumption, and then also like maybe you go into a group of people and then you start talking. Like you don't want to just start introducing yourself right away, right? You want to have some conversation first. Maybe crack some jokes, talk a little bit, and then, oh, by the way, my name's Albert, right? And then just make that casual. And once you make a connection early on, it's gonna be much easier for you to connect with them later on when you see them on dance floor or whatever. It just makes things a lot easier. So, and you kind of use your best judgment. You don't have to meet everyone, right? Based on your date's reaction to people, like you should kind of be able to gauge like who you should be introducing yourself to. Also, your date probably should just let you know like, hey, this is my boyfriend or whatever, and it'll make your job a lot easier. But that's something on you. Just make sure you figure this out. It's a little bit, it's a little bit calculative, but at the same time, like make sure it comes off as natural. All right, I would say like 99% of the wedding for you is gonna be small talk, right? You're gonna be sitting around, standing around, waiting around, and you're gonna have to talk to people like really casually. And to be honest, small talk is super easy. All you gotta do is just focus the conversation on that person, right? So just be like, yeah. So just like have the conversation around whatever. You can just ask that person about themselves, right? I would say maybe in these situations you probably don't really want to ask them what they do for work, but it would just be like, oh, like, hey, like, where'd you come from? Like, right? I was like, oh yeah, like, how do you know the bride or groom? Oh, like, oh, did you go to school with this or that? Like, how was this? How was that? Whatever. Like, it's super chill. Like, it's really, really casual. I think a good way to make small talk is to just have like a confidence deep down that you are really chill and easy to talk to. And if you believe that to be true, then it'll be really easy for you to make small talk, right? And even if you don't think it's true and maybe you're a little bit awkward, just fucking, brainwash yourself to think that you're a cool guy and that you're able to make small talk, and it's gonna be really natural. And if you wanna practice small talk, like try talking to ChatGPT. I don't know if you ever tried it before. If you just talk to ChatGPT, ChatGPT can carry conversation. Like they are really good at carrying conversation. They talk about a topic, they give you answers, they talk about it, and then they ask you about it, right? Just like practice that, and then it's super easy to carry conversation. Just practice that if you feel like you need it. Tell the ChatGPT if you feel like you need more advice. But this will be like all the conversations about is just making small talk. When it comes to talking to the bride and groom, to be realistic, like you're gonna see them for like maybe 30 seconds max, right? So there's not gonna be a lot of interaction with you and the bride and groom. More than likely, they're gonna see you. They'll be like, "Yo, this is a fucking guy. I gotta pay extra dinner plate for." So they're not they're hella busy. They're meeting a lot of people, and they're not gonna hella need to talk to you. So all you gotta say is, hey, thank you so much for inviting me to your wedding, right? Or you can say like, something nice. Like if you like their vows, say you like their vows. If the venue is nice, say the venue is nice. Whatever you gotta say, just say something super nice to them. You're only talking to them for like 10 seconds, so just like say a really nice thing, and then that's basically it. And yeah, I think the most important thing is to remember, like in this scenario, you're just background character, right? So like, don't bring too much attention to yourself. Like on the dance floor, like don't get all hyphy or whatever. Like this is not your friend group. Just be chill. Don't drink too much, right? And it's gonna be open bar, but like you don't want to get too fucked up. You don't want to be, that guy that gets too fucked up at a wedding and starts like yakking in the bathroom or whatever. And really, just be on your best behavior. Like think about it as an interview. You're basically representing like yourself as whoever's boyfriend or whoever's girlfriend for this one night, and the idea is like after that night they'll be like, oh yeah, that person, oh yeah, their boyfriend or whatever is super chill, and that's your goal basically. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Just be a chill person and don't go over the top on anything. And yeah, just remember what your goals are. I think if you remember what your goals are, then it's really easy. All right, hope this is helpful. See you next video. Next.